Oh, that one works too.
Hey guys, my name is Brent. Today I wanted to show you how I made this Bluetooth airsoft gun and also how to make the app to control it with MIT App Inventor. So let's get right into it. So what you're going to need is an Arduino. Anything will do. I'm using a Nano, a 5-volt relay, an Android device, and an HC06 Bluetooth module. You can do HC05 as well, that'll work. A PIR motion sensor, cable to plug into the Arduino into your computer. I used a power bank to power my Arduino. You can use that as well. Jumper cables, soldering iron, wire strippers, glue gun, and a battery powered airsoft gun, of course. Now let's go over how I made that app. So we're going to start with at mitappinventor.com. So go to create apps. I already clicked that. So then there should be a projects and then start new project somewhere on the screen. And then just type in the name of the project. I named it this, and then we'll get started. So we're going to do a couple layouts here. Let's do 3 horizontal arrangements. Actually, I'm just going to copy. I'm going to do 2 and then copy this one. So in this one, I want a couple buttons. We'll do 2 buttons just like I did earlier. We're going to change this width to fill parent so it fills the screen, and these also to fill parent. So it kind of looks nicer filling up half and half. Then we can also do 100 pixels. It kind of 100. I did 100 last time. It just kind of looks cleaner. It kind of fills it up a little more. And then we're gonna just copy these and down there, and then they automatically change names to button 3 and 4, which is good for when we're gonna code them. So that's nice. Text. We'll change button 1 to, let's say, fire, and then we'll go motion detect mode for this one. Motion detect, and then let's say continuous, and then we'll go disarm. Okay, so now let's put a list in here. So we need a list of all the Bluetooths that we're gonna put in here, so we'll code that later, but this is just a generic list. You can put anything in there. So I'm going to do the same thing with this and make it fill the parent, make this fill the parent as well, and then the text I'll change to Bluetooth list. Okay, so then you would just click that to connect to the gun, and we'll go 100 pixels on this as well. Cool, and we'll go a little less. Looks too big for that. Okay, cool. And then you can do an image in the background if you wanted to. You just go to image right there. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so that kind of covers up my text, and we're going to change that text later, so I don't really want to do that. Okay, now we can go on to the blocks and coding what all these buttons do in the list. The list is the hardest part. Just connecting to Bluetooth is kind of difficult, but if you just follow along, it should be pretty simple. Before we get started, we are going to first need to add some Bluetooth connectivity here. So add the Bluetooth client, just drag it on there. Then we've got it, it's hidden. It's not going to show up, it's just going to be in the code in the background. So then we're going to also go to label. We're going to add a label here. That label will change whenever we're going to connect. So we're going to say connect right now and make it red. And then when it does connect, we're going to change it to green and say connected, just so we know if that's one of the problems we're having, is it's just not connected. So we're going to go to blocks, and let's get that list picker sorted. So we're going to go list picker. Before picking, we want to show a drop down list of all the Bluetooth. So then we're going to go to Bluetooth and show the addresses and names, but we're going to set that to the list picker. I forgot to set list picker elements to this. So set the elements to Bluetooth client 1, addresses and names. Okay, that'll give us our drop down list of all of the Bluetooth clients we have to choose from. Then we want to do something after we pick which Bluetooth client we want. So we see our Bluetooth module, which I'll tell you later what it's called. I forget right now, but we'll get into the Bluetooth and all the hardware later. But now we want to set this list picker to, let's see, where's the list picker? A selection. We want to use our selection, so we got to use set list picker selection. We're going to change this background color to selection. And then we want to call the Bluetooth client with that selection. So we want to do that and then connect it with our list picker selection. Okay, and that should be enough to connect to it. So we've got it connected now, but we also want to change the label just to see that we are connected. So let's go label. Well, first we have to set label. This block coding can kind of get annoying, but it's just something we have to do. So set label 1. Let's go text color to. Actually, we don't want that. We want a color. So we'll go color. Go green for connected, and then we're also going to do another set with the text. So we want to set the list picker. My goodness. Okay, set the text to, and then we'll go text. We'll say connected. Okay, and that should be it for the list picker. So now we're going to just set up the Bluetooth buttons and what they're going to send to the Arduino. So let's go to button 1. So this one we want to do when it's pushed. So when we hold it down, it's going to send a 1. And then when we release it, it can send a 4. So when the 1 is pressed in the Arduino code, we'll have it firing, which means the relay will turn on. And then when it's a 4, the relay will turn off. So to do that with this, we need to do when it's pushed down. So touchdown. Then we're going to do call Bluetooth client. So just a Bluetooth client. And we're going to try and send a text. So here it is, send text. And let's do a 1. Okay, and that should be it for that. And then when it's up, when touch up, we're going to copy this. And then we're going to send a 4. A 4 is what we're going to do in the if-else statement in the Arduino code to turn the relay off. So when it's down, it'll be a 1. It'll keep sending that 1. Or actually, I don't think it will keep sending it. I think it'll send it once, and then when it releases, it sends a 4 once. And then the Arduino will respond to that and turn off when it gets a 4. So we could add some styling to this. So we'll say like, we'll change some colors here. So set the button colors. Set button background color to gray. Or we'll change it red, and then when it's released, we'll change it back to gray. And we'll do this for all of them just to add some nice styling to them. But we will, every time we switch buttons, then it'll reset, so we're gonna have to add gray for all the rest of the buttons too. And I'll skip forward ahead a little bit and you can see what I mean by that. Okay, so now we'll add a button for the motion detect mode. I think that was number 2. Yep, so this highlights, that means it's button 2, button 1, button 2. Okay, so button 2, we want click, because we're not doing a touchdown, we just want to click it to put it in motion detect mode. And we want the same stuff, so we'll just copy and paste that. Except now we're going to send a 2, and then we'll do the colors as well. And I'll skip forward. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing for button 3. What's button 3? Continuous fire. So we just want to send a 1 and be done with it for that one. Then we'll change button 1 to red, and this to gray. Okay, and then button 4, same thing. Disarm. So we'll just send a 4, which means disarm. And then we'll say green and gray. Okay, and that should be it for the blocks. So I realized I think there's a better way to do this connected, and that's with a clock, and just to check whether or not we're connected at all times. So we're gonna use sensor, we're gonna add a clock, and then we're gonna do when clock ticks, or timer. So then we're gonna do is if it's connected. So an if statement first. If Bluetooth client is connected, then we're gonna do set this over here and this over here, and that should be a lot better than just after you pick. So that could not work sometimes, so we want to do a constant check if it's connected, and then if you go too far away and it gets disconnected, then you won't be confused again. So this should help that. And now I think we're ready for Arduino. So this is how we're starting off here. My relay is connected to pin 12 and my motion detector is connected to pin 4. And those are just variables that we'll use and then set them as input and outputs. Received is a variable we use for whatever we get from the Bluetooth, from the phone that sends Bluetooth, and then we'll just set the state to low to start with. So you can just copy all this. I'll put the code in the description too in my GitHub, so you can just copy that from there. And then let's put this in a case then. We'll go switch received, and then so case 1 we'll say we're gonna digital write relay to high. And this case 1 is and then we also have to do a break. Oh, I'm not used to writing in C++. I'm used to C# and JavaScript. Okay, so then we'll have to do a break, and then we can do case 2 is received. So a switch case basically takes received, and if it's a 1, then it goes through this case, and if it's 2, and so on. So it's a super easy way of doing just like a if-else statement, but longer basically. So then for this one, we're going to do PIR equals digital read, and then we're going to read the motion detector pin. So if that's high, so if PIR equals not plus plus equals high, then we are going to digital write our relay to be high. So that'll turn on the gun. Whenever we turn on the relay, that means we're firing. So then we're going to delay 300 and then turn it off. So it shoots for 300 milliseconds, and then it waits to see if it needs to fire again. Oh, digital write relay. Low. Okay, and then we're gonna delay, let's say like another 300 milliseconds. And we'll do an else here. If it doesn't receive anything, we're just gonna set digital write the relay to low. And then delay, we'll just say like another 300, just so it doesn't continuously try that and just mess up. Okay, that should be it for case 2. So we'll do a break. And then case 3, we want to do an off situation. So case 3, and I realized that we did some extra work with, there should be no 4. So I'll go back after I do this. So I'll just do, let's just do digital write relay low. And actually we don't need a delay. And then a break. Make sure you have these breaks in here, else it'll just run through all the cases. but the brakes takes it out of the switch cases. Okay, so since 3 is our low here, we just have to go to MIT App Inventor and change this whenever we want it off to 3. So I had it 4 earlier. I changed it off screen, but now it's 3. So whenever we want it to go off, we have 3 instead of 4. So that should be it for the Arduino then. So let's take a look at the schematic and see how it works. So put it very simply, if this gets the signal here from D12, which is in our Arduino code, is our relay, then it will connect this circuit with the relay and allow this motor to run. This is the motor that controls the gun shooting. So that circuit right here, if this was in here, this is normally closed, so that means it needs a signal to open, and normally open means it needs a signal to close. So you want it to be normally open so it doesn't constantly run unless you have a signal going towards it. Let's see how the Bluetooth is connected. So make sure you have your TX to RX and then RX to TX. It's kind of weird how that works, but it's just how it is. And make sure that you don't have these plugged in while you're publishing to the Arduino, or else your computer won't be able to communicate with it and it kind of just messes things up. So just unplug it when you're doing that. This is supposed to be the PIR motion sensor, but they didn't have one in the fritzing software that I'm using. So just know that this is supposed to be the out pin, this middle one. This is supposed to be ground, and this is supposed to be, this is VCC and this is ground. So I have this going to D10, which I made a ground by making it low. This red I have going to D6, which is I made high, so it's VCC. And then the signal goes to D4, which I made in my code to be 4. And the relay is 12, so I have the 12 going to the relay. So all these pins are accurate. You can just follow exactly what I did here and it should work for you. And that's about it. So I can show you the real PIR is supposed to look like this. So the middle is out, like I said. So just follow this, but imagine there's a PIR motion sensor there. That should be it for the schematic. So now I'm going to show you what you're going to need to do after you take the gun apart and what you're going to need to connect together to bypass the trigger. So what I'm going to do is connect those 2 wires. This works on a switch. So it's a slide switch that gets pushed, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that. So there's a switch right there, that black thing. It's connecting those 2 wires when it gets pushed back. It's connecting that one to that one. So I'm just going to connect it with some good old soldering. Yeah, so it may look terrible, but it got the job done. Well, let's see if it did. Please work. What? This is the charger. Wait, where's the battery? Please work. Yes, okay. Well, that was really simple. So now we don't need a trigger. Okay, I finally got it working, I think. So the motion detector sees my hand and it turns the relay on. So let's get it on the gun. Alright, here it is. I'm a little nervous about this placement of the gun, but first test. Here we go. Let me connect it up here. Alright. Here goes nothing. Fire! Oh, hit my phone. Ah! Oh! Oh! Alright, fireworks. Let's try continuous fire. Oh yeah, that one works too. Oh, okay. Alright. I probably shouldn't look right at the thing. Okay. Motion detect mode. I'll step out for this one. Jeez. Alright, disarming. Woo! It works! Thank you guys for watching. I hope you could follow along if you tried. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And please like and subscribe for the next one. Thanks.